Mic check 1 2. This is the podcast with Carlos. I got a very good friend of mine for this episode. I'd say probably more than a friend. I'd say a mentor, a father figure, a OG, so to speak, in this game of life. I'd like to introduce everyone to my radiology dad, Nelson Perez. What's up, Nelson?
Hey, man, doing good. Coming to you here from Houston, Texas. Yeah, I just want to say thank you for doing this, and it was a pleasure working with you for about 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a good time, and our motto is even though if it was busy, let's get the shit done.
And have fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, man. We've only known each other for a couple of years, but I feel like
Yeah,
I don't know, like
definitely. I've known you for a long time. Yeah,
I'm just attracted to you.
Yeah.
Not like that though. So don't think of
you're
it.
kind of cute, man.
No, man. Our souls definitely attract.
Yeah,
You know?
for sure.
I felt very comfortable with you like the first day.
Yeah, I really look forward for you coming in at 9 o'clock, and I try to get all the patients done as quickly as I could, so we could get the stuff done.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of sad when I switched shifts, couldn't really see each other. But the saddest part was when you were like, hey, man, I'm moving to Texas.
Yeah.
And you moved pretty fast.
Yeah,
I moved pretty fast.
I couldn't believe it because back in April, my wife and Ann went to Arizona to the Grand Canyon, and at that time we had no idea that we were going to move to Texas. So from April until June, we had no idea. Like in June, maybe the latter part of May when we started making the decisions. And then, I started praying to God to see if this is the right thing to do because I have my kids in California, and I've been in California like 50 years. So California was my home. And so it was a big decision because my job was only 15 minutes from my house. And my wife's job was like 5 minutes. So, and I've been in California for 50 years ever since I came from Cuba. So it was like my second home.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, make a big decision to move to a place I never even been before and to look for a house that we never even seen before. So it was like untested territory in a way, like virgin territory for us.
Talk about putting all the chips on the table, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So you mentioned Cuba. Now, you've been in the States a really long time now. You said 50 years.
Yeah.
Take me back to the earliest days that you can remember in Cuba. What was like the earliest memory that you can remember from Cuba?
Well, I remember living in a small town called Esperanza, Cuba. And I was raised, my parents were pretty close. I was raised in a house which is almost in downtown Esperanza. It's surrounded all by businesses and stuff like that. And, I really had a good childhood. We played a lot of sports, baseball almost every day, Caribbean country. Baseball is like almost every day. My dad used to take me to baseball games. And we played around a lot, like we flew kites and trompos.
Trompos.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
You put the string and...
Yeah. And my dad had kind of a farm, and we used to go to the farm like once a month and really had a good, happy childhood, even with the communism that was going on, socialist with Fidel Castro. And it was kind of tough because, living in a socialist country, they control everything, And, there was a lot of sad days when Castro's soldiers came over and took over my dad's business and froze all his assets. So it was like something I will never forget in my life, how communism really entered our doors.
Forced their way into your doors.
Yeah.
That's a very sad thing.
Yeah, just think about it. You work all your life to have something, to have a business, to have money in the bank, and all of a sudden, in one day, in a matter of minutes, you lose everything.
Because someone says that you can't have it.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, it's not like you lost it in a fire
Yeah.
or something crazy. It's because someone walked in and said you
Yeah.
can't have it.
Right. And that's why, most of the Cubans are Republicans, because we love freedom and we don't want a government to come and tells you, how to do it, when to do it.
Yeah.
And so it's like imposing on your own freedom.
Seriously. Like
Yeah.
your human
Yeah.
life rights, basically.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What kind of business did your dad have?
Oh, he had like a jewelry store. They used to call him Victor el Relojero.
El
So
relojero.
he used to fix watches, and he used to sell jewelry, and he had like a few toys. He would sell toys. It was a small store, in a small town, but he did pretty good. And I remember like once a week he would go to Santa Clara, which Santa Clara is the capital. And towards the last couple of years, he would take me along with it because he wanted me to take over the business as I got older. So we would go and buy the materials there wholesale and sell it at resale in our own town. So, it was.
So he was showing you the ropes.
Yeah, it was kind of a cool idea.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And you were like a teenager when he was doing that?
No, I was probably an early teen, maybe
Oh, preteen?
12. Yeah, 11, 12. Because we left Cuba when I was 14. So I was probably about 11 or 12.
Oh, wow. That's pretty early.
Yeah.
To introduce someone to, hey, this is
Yeah.
how I get materials. This is, business-wise, business motto.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty. Your dad was pretty savvy then, huh?
Yeah, so kind of was, now that I'm doing this, is I'm looking back, kind of an introduction to business. And I have a business degree, so it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Now that I look back, that was my introduction. And, I love business. I love real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm talking to you, now that I'm at the end of my radiology career, I'm even thinking of real estate. We own a few rentals.
Yeah.
So I've always been passionate about it.
Wow. So I guess you could credit your dad for kind of putting that bug inside your brain, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, he sounds like he was a pretty good model coming up for you.
Yeah, definitely.
When you were in Cuba, what was like the school system like? Like, do you remember anything like?
Oh yeah, I remember. I was a pretty good student, going from kindergarten all the way to middle school. My mom used to press my uniforms. And I was kind of like the model student. My hair was just perfect. I would go to school. My books were really like perfect. Even the teacher I was like the model student. Hey, here's Nelson. Nelson, can you pass your notebook so everybody could see what you guys should be doing? So it was looking back, like I was like the model student.
Wow. And you kept that on like the entire time that you were there in school?
No, not until I hit the middle school. Then I started hanging around with the few rebellious people. Then I became a little rebellious during that time. Not all the way, but a little introduction to rebellious, and started looking at the girls.
We'll get into the girls later.
Yeah.
But what grade did you finish in Cuba? What was the last grade that you were there for?
Now that I remember, when I came here, I entered the high school. So it was like the middle school, like maybe 9th, because the school system is a little different than here.
Oh, it's different over there?
Yeah. So I would say probably middle school, like 9th grade.
Oh, okay.
And then I came here to America during the summer. So I went to summer school.
Wait, you came to summer school here in America?
Yeah, because we came in June.
Oh, okay. Wow. So So prior to you coming here,
Yeah.
well, do you remember the day? And I know you mentioned your dad got his business taken. Was that the day that he decided we're gonna get out of here,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
was it like a week later? Or,
No, on that day.
oh, it was right
He
then and there.
basically said, F Cuba, they taken everything from me, my dignity, my respect. And he kind of like tears coming from his face. He goes, this is not for us. What am I going to do now? They took my business. They froze my assets. I don't have any money right now. How are we going to survive?
You saw him cry.
Yeah, yeah. Basically not cry, but he had tears coming out of his face. So it was like, wow, I never seen my dad.
I was gonna ask because I remember the first time I seen tears on my dad's face. I didn't say anything, but it made me feel like, oh my God,
Yeah,
this person is vulnerable. Like,
I felt like grabbing a stick and going after all the soldiers, or if I had a gun, I'd probably shoot the son of a bitches.
yeah, for real. Dude, watching that movie the other day, that's what I wanted to do. Like, it's so fucked up. I mean, it's so messed up that they just have that control. And in the movie, it was depicted like
Yeah.
it was just like a strong organization with no, I guess I want to say, in the beginning, I guess, with no political affiliations, and they just kind of strong armed their way in there.
Yeah.
Is that's kind of what it was?
That's kind of like the way. It's kind of like,
I guess what I'm saying is Fidel Castro was never a politician before. Like, he wasn't like in politics his whole life, and then one day he just decided to get like a group of people and take over every province, or it happened like that.
yeah, it sort of happened that way. He went to, I'm pretty sure, to Havana at the university there, and he's always kind of had political ideas, but he was like really, he wanted to be a communist. He really studied Marxism,
Marxism,
Karl Marx,
yeah.
and he had all these ideas. But of course, if you come to Cuba and you say you're going to be communist, you're not going to get the support. So first, he got all the support because everybody hated Batista, because Batista was a dictator, and people wanted to get him out.
Aside from communism, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, people wanted a change, but they didn't want a communist, basically. And the way that he was introduced, once he got the power, then he started introducing socialist ideas little by little. And then all of a sudden he said, this is a socialist country now. And, he took all the power from everybody, the businesses. And the Americans had a lot of businesses over there, and he took all of their business. He froze all of their assets. So little by little, he started taking over the country, and that's kind of like the way it happened.
I wonder how he suckered people in to vote for him. Because if people are breaking into your house saying that, oh, this is a new change, a new revolution, you can't sell out of this place. It's like, what kind of good change is that from the previous dictator? Like, it doesn't seem like it's a step up from where it was.
Well, people wanted a change, and people were grabbing whatever change was happening. So that's why he gathered all the popular votes and gathered all the people who were Castro. He was like,
Because it was just a change.
he was like a god. Basically, everybody was so excited because it was a change. He was bearded. He had this whole group coming from Oriente, which is the most remote province, and then all of a sudden he took over all the way to Cuba. So everybody was really excited, but people didn't know he was going to be a communist. So little by little, he introduced communism. And, people want freedom, man. You don't want somebody to tell you how to do it, when to do it, and especially taking the businesses away from people. That's what you work for all your life. And all of a sudden, you have nothing. Yeah. So he wanted people totally to rely on the government. The government was going to take care of you. And that's why even, people had to eat. They had a libreta, which is food ration, They will give you so much to eat for a week, like 2 bottles of milk and that kind of stuff. So it was like total overpower the people, even to the way you eat.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, all he needed was to show them how to wipe their butt.
Yeah, basically, and there was no toilet paper either.
Oh my God.
So people will use the newspaper, and they were saying, "Man, how bad this revolution is that even your ass will learn how to read."
That's a good one. Oh man, see, like when I think of that stuff, when they say shit like, "Oh, the government's gonna do this, gonna do that," like watching the movie, they were saying, "This is under government ownership, so you can't be here." Like, okay, so are you gonna get government officials to come and work at this shop every single day? Like, are you gonna upkeep this business? Are you gonna maintenance it? Are you gonna go get the supplies? Like. Like, you know, are you going to do the payroll? Are you going to like, I don't imagine it all like falling into place like how they would wanted it. Cause it's too many.
They just want power, man.
That's really all it is, huh?
It's all about power.
Man.
Yeah.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. So, okay. So
basically in a communism or socialism, they want everybody to be the same. So they don't want high class, low class, so everybody would be the same. So everybody's poor, basically. So it really works on your mentality. Like there's no aspirations, no future. They want the government to control your future, your destiny. So, I mean, it's like a bird in a cage. You know, it's like they tell you how to do it. Even I had a friend of mine, he wanted to become a doctor. So he took like an aptitude test, you know, and they said, no, you can't make it as a doctor, a veterinarian better. So he went and became a veterinarian. So they even control your future. I mean, people take it for granted, but man, in a country like this, you have opportunity. If you're a hard worker, if you want to go to school, you have so many ways to go to school. And you control your own destiny in a way. Yeah. But over there, they control your destiny.
That's messed up. So, I don't see how anyone could think, oh yeah, communism will work here. Like this will be good. Like I don't see that ever. Like who promotes that communism is the way to go other than like the people in power? You know what I mean?
Well, they paint it like a wonderful dream, like everybody's the same, you know, we're all this society, you know, my fellow worker, we're all the same. But in a reality, you're not, you know, we're created to have our own mentality, to be someone that you want to be, not for some asshole to tell you, hey, you're not going to be a doctor, you're not smart enough, why don't you be a veterinarian? You know?
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Man. So, with all that being said, your dad loses his business.
Yeah.
And then that moment right there, he decides, I'm going to America. Now, do you remember how he went about it? Like just gathering you guys up, saying, we're getting out of here. Let's.
Yeah.
How was that process like? Because I can only imagine it's like it's kind of life-changing in that moment.
Well, at the time, there were certain ways how to get out of the country. And, you know, you look at it as an exit visa, more or less. We had relatives in the United States, and they will, like, sponsor you to come to America. So you start out the process with immigration. Mm-hmm. And then at the time, they call it el telegrama, the telegram. Mm-hmm. So once all the process goes in and your exit visa comes in, then the telegram will pick who's coming out, more like a lottery type of deal. So you get like a number. So once that number is, let's say, the Perez family, then you're okay to leave the country. But it's kind of like a tedious process, almost like a lottery type of a thing.
Oh, wow.
To leave the country.
So I can only imagine that thousands of families are probably signing up for that.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not like everyone's going to leave all at once, huh?
Yeah. And basically, when the system finds out you're leaving the country, they call you gusano, which is a worm. That means you're not contributing to the revolution. You're like a worm. They treat you like a traitor.
Yeah.
And the head of the household, which was my dad, they put him in kind of like a concentration camp to try to make you change your mind to stay to stay in Cuba to support the revolution. So it's a process of trying to beat you up or whatever they do to you to make you change your mind. And I know my dad ended up in a hospital, almost died from the abuse that he took there with bad food and everything. So I remember my mom reading Psalms 91 to really pray to the Lord to help us get out of Cuba. So it was a big deal, man.
How long was your dad in the concentration camp? How long was he there for?
Oh, I would say, I don't remember exactly, but at least like 6 months to 10 months, almost a year. I would say somewhere around 6 to 8 months.
And when he came out,
He was like a total different person, lost a bunch of weight. You can tell he aged really bad.
Wow.
So
How old was your dad around that time? Do you remember?
early 50s, because I remember he was probably about 53, because
When he went to the concentration camp?
So when we left Cuba, when we arrived here, he was 55. My mom was 50. Wow. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, oh, my dad was like 38.
No.
So your dad was already ruco.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Rucon.
And he was getting beat up by communist. Oh, man, that's so freaking sad, dude.
Yeah, he basically said, I really don't want to tell you what I went through, but it's pretty hard.
He never told you?
No, not in detail. He was kind of ashamed,
Like, can you share something that nah?
No, he really didn't tell me. Like, I don't think they did anything like really bad, like anal, something like that. But
Okay.
But I know he got beat up, and they try to make him change his mind. He goes, "You're just a traitor to the revolution. You need to really meet our ideas or whatever." So they really force you with it, man.
So then how does one get out of that? Do you just say, okay, I'm a changed man, I love communism now, and then they let you out? Like, what would...
Yeah, basically like that. You have to agree. But he basically ended up in the hospital, so it's just too much. And then once he got out, he finished.
Man. So when he got out of the hospital, he said, I'm out.
Basically, he kind of finished I guess he passed in a way, the torture.
He passed the course.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a pretty tough course. Yeah. I'm not going to lie.
I don't really know the details because my dad didn't want to go in detail. He was pretty ashamed for what he went through.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, only he knows his pain, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow. So when you guys came over here, all you guys came together?
Yeah, it was my dad, my mom, my brother, and me. And I was 14, almost turning 15. And going a little bit back about Cuba, if I would have turned 15 in Cuba, I would have had to join the military. So.
And you were 14.
Yeah, so it was kind of a miracle to come here because my mom had like a dream that our time was to an end. And she went to Havana to look at the immigration and all kinds of stuff. So she had kind of an encounter over there, like in a miracle way, that they sped up the telegram so it would come. And she met somebody there, and they said, don't worry. Your son is going to get out on time. Have faith.
Wow.
And it happened. We're here for basically a miracle. 27 days before I turned 15.
Dude, that blows my mind. Because, for one, it was 27 days from a totally different destiny.
Exactly.
And then number two, it's like your mom kind of putting all her trust into this guy that told her your son's gonna get out.
Yeah.
And it was like, is it guaranteed? Like, are you for sure? Like, you
Yeah,
know?
she felt she's a godly woman. She's a Christian. She felt like the person that told him had a really close relationship with God. It's like a pastor telling her. And then she had an encounter that they told her to go see this guy. And after the guy talked to her, she looked and the guy disappeared. So to her, she felt like it was an angel. An appearance of an angel. So she had all the confidence. And my mom was the type of mom that she was like always in the background. You know, my dad did all the deals and stuff like that for my mom to travel to Havana because, you know, I think it's over 4 hours traveled from my town, Esperanza, to Santa Clara. I mean, to Havana. It's kind of a long ways. So
she went by herself.
Yeah, she went by herself. So
always being like behind your dad's shoulder.
yeah,
Like
exactly. Like,
wow.
yeah.
Dude, your mom had a lot of faith.
Yeah, she had a lot of faith, yeah.
Wow. That's one thing my mom always tells me. She's like, you don't have to be like super religious. You know, I'm not going to sit here and tell you got to go to church, you got to do this. But there's just one thing you can never lose, and that's the faith.
Yeah.
You know, whatever you do, no matter what situation you're in, you just always got to have faith. Even if you're like in the top of the world.
Yeah.
Like you just always got to keep faith.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really live by that, you know.
Yeah. And I remember being a kid and she's reading Psalms 91, really trusting in the Lord because my dad almost died. I mean, he was real close to death. And, you know, putting the faith in God makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And I always look back, you know, it's a miracle for me to come here. You know, I'm not going to blow it, you know. And my dad, when we came here to the U.S., pulled me aside and he goes, hey, your mom and me are old. We could have stayed in Cuba, you know, but we did it for you and your brother. So make me proud, you know. Don't take it for granted. Don't go to school and start getting high. During that time, you know, marijuana and all kinds of pills people were taking. Don't take that stuff. Make me proud.
Quaaludes, all that crazy shit.
Yeah.
In the 70s, huh?
Yeah. So I always kept that in the back of my mind. So I stay away from all that stuff.
So your mom gets the word that you guys will be leaving.
Yeah.
And then it's 27 days before you turn 15.
Yeah.
So you get on the plane, and do you remember landing here?
Let me go back a little bit before that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
When we had the exit visa, we ended up the way that Fidel did things. He goes, we're going to take you to the best beach in Cuba, which is Varadero. And I actually did enjoy that. For 3 days or so, we were in Varadero. We had like a scenic view of the beach. It was beautiful, man. You can hear the ocean. So now to this day, I remember that. That's why I love the beach so much. But he's showing you, you're really going to miss this. You really want to get the hell out of this. Look how beautiful it is. And it's so beautiful. I remember being in the airport just before coming here, and my mom is so nervous. My dad is so nervous, like, you know, they could do any tricks for you to loosen the trip, other than almost killing you to make you change your mind. To my dad, I remember there was a girl there, like, checking me out. And my mom was saying, hey, don't fall for that trick. It could be a communist trick. I go, my mom, come on. She's so pretty.
Oh, my God. You almost fell for the trap.
No, but she was pretty cute. And she was real. Because when we came to the
wasn't
US,
a government official?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, she was actually pretty cute. But I remember telling him, hey, ¿te pareces a... I forgot the name of this Spanish actor or something. She has some good lines.
Oh.
Palomo Linares. Because he looked like this Palomo Linares was an actor back then. Anyway.
I think I know who that is.
Yeah, so anyway, we come to America, And then we're in Miami, landed in Miami. And then my dad told me, hey, Nelson, go for it. We're in the U.S. already. Go for the girl.
Hey, go swim back and get that girl. Wow. So you land in the U.S. Was it nighttime or daytime?
No, it was in the daytime. And what I remember just flying over, so many cars on the parking lot and stuff like that. Because, I come from a small town,
Culture shock.
Not too many cars.
Yeah.
They even had carts with horses and stuff like that. So all of a sudden,
my God.
we're going to the new world. So many cars in the parking lot. Yeah, Miami's beautiful. It's really pretty. So it was kind of like a culture shock.
And you thought to yourself, looking like, I'm going to live here?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, whoa.
Damn.
Welcome to paradise.
Were you excited for it?
I was so excited, man. It was like beautiful. Like, the only thing is I was kind of nervous about the language,
Oh, yeah, because you didn't know any English.
But I actually knew because I took some classes in Cuba, English, but it was very limited. Like, hey, what is your name? Where do you live? I used to say, hey, what is your name? Where do you live? This very strong accent, very strong. My name is Nelson Perez. I come from Cuba. You know Cuba, a small island?
I know Cuba. Wow, you had a really strong accent.
Yeah.
Wow, you really kicked it because I can't picture you with the strong accent.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So how did you see your parents adjust to it? Because I'm sure you're looking at everything and you're like, oh, I'm gonna live here, but like, how is your dad going about it?
Well, what really made a difference is we had a good family extension, extended family, and we went to California. So we had uncles and cousins. We had a lot of Cubans here, family that really supported us.
Oh.
And then my uncle even got a house for us to move into and everything. So it was very supportive. We had the family support, basically.
And that was that happened right when you guys landed? Like when you landed, you knew that,
Yeah.
we're going to go to California after we land?
Yeah. Basically, my uncle had a house already rented for us. We spent some time in Miami, like maybe 2 weeks, a week or two. And then we flew to California. And, my uncle had a house in Bell, California. The rent was $98 a month.
$98 a month.
Yeah, 2-bedroom, 1 bath, but
Dude.
a whole house. But
That's a gas tank for me.
hey, gas was 35 cents.
Oh my God. It's $6 now at the time of this recording.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty crazy, man.
Yeah.
So you moved to California and then you get enrolled into school right away? Or?
Yeah, I went to my parents enrolled me in school. They believed in school education. So I went to Huntington Park High School, close to LA.
Okay.
My first day to school, when I bought a bicycle and I had my red bike, I was really excited about my red bike.
Did you wear a uniform?
No, there was no uniform then.
Did you wear a little bag with your books?
No, not a fat bag.
Oh man, come on.
No, I dressed, watching all the American movies, how people used to wear suits and hats, because most of the movies
were suited up.
I went with the suit to high school. Everyone was making fun. Hey man, are you the teacher? You're gonna teach us? Oh man, the first day, man.
Oh man. How did you feel? I would have felt so out of place.
Yeah,
man.
I felt out of place. So I said next day, I said, forget the suit, man. Maybe for church.
And you told yourself, oh, I'm going to wear the suit. Or your parents were like, no, you got to wear a suit to go to school.
No, it's more like, yeah, it was a more combination between them and me. And they were saying, hey, it'd be better if you wear a suit. Yeah.
Because it looks proper,
Yeah.
presentable, first
Exactly.
day. Oh, okay. That makes sense. So then the second day, everyone's like, where's the suit?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Wow. So you start 10th grade here, basically,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you only do 2 years of school?
Oh, it's 2 years basically. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So we would get into ESL class, English as a second language.
Oh,
Yeah. Because remember, I had to learn English, all the topics in English. So
I was in a class like that too
Yeah.
when I was young.
Really?
Except we called it dual immersion.
Oh wow.
So like we had
They're
a
more
bunch of
sophisticated.
we had a bunch of, it was like a litter of just mixed kids, white kids, black kids, and we would, and it was, I don't know if it was like this back then, but we were in cahoots with like another class. So our class and another class would always be associated. So second grade, third grade, fourth, like we'd always see the same people.
Nothing like that.
Because we'd always switch classrooms because one was English, the other one was Spanish. It wasn't like that.
No, it was more like back then. There were a lot of Mexicans that would come over and so basically, it was a mixture of Mexicans and Cubans mostly, and they would just teach you English, and
And you guys had to practice it with each other, or like was that
practice, yeah. Basically, I really took it upon myself to study, and I remember I would really make myself trying to learn 5 to 10 words a day, and I would like write it, like for example, house. How do you pronounce house in English? Of course, you're not gonna say HOUSE.
So you did 2 years in ESL you did ESL 2 years?
No, basically close to a year. It's like a semester.
You caught on fast with English? Did you catch it fast?
No. I mean, I caught on just to get by. But I really had the strong accent. I remember like every Friday we had to make a presentation, like newspaper clip, and then you had to stand up in class and make the best presentation. So for me, that was horrible because of my accent. And then even the teacher, I remember her, Mrs. Watkins, skinny old Americana. She would sit and even laugh at me, man. It was like, welcome to America, and let's embarrass the hell out of you.
You fucking bitch. That's so embarrassing.
Yeah. So I would stand up. My name is Nelson Perez. I am a Cuban refugee. I am going to read to you what happened to this pedestrian. As the pedestrian was walking, a car hit the pedestrian. Almost killed him instantaneously.
Hey, you can say the words right. Wow.
My English not so good, but Espanol, I'm very good.
Well, that's pretty good. I mean, that's kind of nerve-wracking, to be honest.
Yeah. Especially when you're trying to impress the girls.
Yeah, you're talking, but you're getting made fun of from everyone. It's like, damn, you're killing the game.
Wasn't very cool at all.
So you weren't attracting any girls when you first came?
No, man, even with the accent, I did pretty good.
Oh, you did pretty good. So you were in 2 years in high school.
Yeah.
Did you bang any chicks?
Yeah. Oh man.
This is the meat and
My
potato.
wife is not here. Yeah, I did pretty good. I dated quite a few girls. Well, I mean, pretty good. A few here and there.
Okay. Other question. When did you lose your virginity?
Oh man, that's interesting.
We're not gonna get into detail, but like I was 17 when I lost it. Like,
damn, I beat you 16.
oh man,
It's July the 4th, man.
that's when you lost it.
Yeah, what was it? Like they call it swap meet, but back then it was theaters, like outside theaters. Forgot the term. Drive-in theaters. Yeah, that was so good, man. With an Americanita.
In your car
Yeah.
with your accent.
Yeah, man.
Yo.
Did pretty good in the back seat.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That thing was so fast, man. They go, yo. I waited all my life for this, and then, God, like maybe 2 minutes. Yo.
2 minutes. Okay, you beat me by a year, but I beat you by like,
Hey, you're pretty good then. Damn.
dude. I went for like hours.
No,
I
come
swear to
on,
God.
man.
I
They
swear
give
to
me
God.
bullshit.
I swear to God.
Damn, man.
I'll get the girl on the phone right now. No,
Damn,
just
man. Wow.
yeah. I went for a long time, but
That's why July the 4th, it means a lot to me. No, man. It was quite an experience. It's something like a young man waits all his life so he can brag to your friends.
yeah. Oh, I finally got my sweat. Yeah. Wow.
But I got better after that, though.
I went 3 minutes and then 4 minutes and then 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So you're coming up as a exiting high school sort of.
Yeah.
So then after high school, you go to college right away, or what do you do in between?
Basically, we went to started going to church, Seventh-day Adventist church, and I actually wanted to go. Back then, computers were just coming into it. They were saying you go into computers, or you can become a teacher. So we started going to church, the Seventh-day Adventist church, and in the church was this tall Cubano, and he was really influential with my parents. He should go to Loma Linda, and he really persuaded us for me to go to Loma Linda. So I went to Loma Linda University, La Sierra campus. They had a campus in La Sierra, close to Riverside. So I went to school, really not sure what I was going to do. I was thinking maybe become a Spanish teacher or something like that. So I went to school, and then I changed my mind after that. Then I went from becoming a teacher to becoming a dentist, because they had a good dentist program. So I'm taking all my prerequisites to go into dentistry. I ran into this gordito Mexicano, because he was living in my dormitory. And I asked him, hey, man, what's your field? X-ray. X-ray. How long is that? Oh, well, once you get all your requirements, it's 2 years. 2 years after that, shit, I'm switching to X-ray. So I talked to my counselor after that. He goes, well, we have a program that will be good for you. You have most of your classes because you're taking pre-dentistry. So I switched. It was a good switch. So I went into X-ray not knowing what the hell X-ray was about.
Wow. Like you had no idea what it was about?
No.
You didn't know that it was like taking pictures of bones?
Yeah, no, I had no idea.
You had no idea. You just heard, 2 years? Oh, I'm going for it.
Yeah, I'm going for it, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you went into the class and you ended up liking it?
Yeah, I ended up liking it. Yeah.
You had to do an internship too?
Yes. The internship was once a week. You would go for a clinical. The way that Loma Linda was doing the program back then is 1 year of basically studying academics for 1 year. And then, of course, you get the clinical once a week. And then the second year is all clinicals. And then 1 day of class, yeah. So once I applied, I had like a 3.2, 3.3 average, which is a B plus. So they accepted me.
You're fucking smart.
They accepted me. And then, I went with the program, and, I passed, took the test. And then after I took the one, if you want to go to nuclear medicine, it's another year. But I said, hell no, man, I want to start making money. So I did my internship the second year, a White Memorial Medical Center, which is close to USC, downtown, close to downtown LA.
You have a name there too? You have a reputation there too, or no?
I worked my way up.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Speaking in codes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever get a job at the spot you entered at? Did you?
No. It was kind of too far from my house. But I got a job close to, because back then we were living in Southgate, and the closest hospital was Linwood Hospital. Forgot what it was called, Linwood something. But then I applied over there, and I started working second shift, 3 to 11.
At the Linwood
Yeah,
spot?
yeah.
Oh, wow. 3 to 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've always worked that shift.
Yeah, that's why I kind of like that shift.
Since
3
the
to 11.
beginning. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good shift, though. You know,
Yeah.
working it's a good shift. Wow.
Yeah, I liked it.
So you get into X-ray school, and then you come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
What's your dad's reaction when you graduated? Was it?
Oh, they were all excited. They threw a party for me, Southgate High School, and at that time I had my Cuban girlfriend, Mary, and then
Okay.
it was kind of a big deal for all the family. You know, I graduated, and then shortly after that I married her.
Was she doing something?
No, she was 15, man.
Oh,
when
right.
I met her.
Right. Okay.
So she was really young, 17. And I finished school when I was 22. So it was like two young punks getting married in a way, you know, really young.
How long were you guys married for?
I would say probably about 3 or 4 years.
Oh, wow. It's kind of a long time to be married.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then,
We're basically like we were really into the church, Seventh-day Adventists. And
Did you
I
feel-
met her in church.
did you feel like you had to be with her?
It's kind of like a family thing. She was pretty cute. So it was like something you had to do, you know, more like tradition than.
But not your ideal. Not something you would say, oh, this is what I want. This is what I envision.
In a way, I think at that time I was pretty happy with her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How did it fall apart?
But
It was a mutual thing?
yeah, it was a mutual thing. But, you know, now that I look back, I was really in love with her. But when you look at it, we were too young. I was 22. She was 17. And I think she just wanted to get out of the house because they were really, really strict to the point that we didn't go out by ourselves. We only had to have a chaperone. So it was really like old school, really old school.
I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of annoying. You know?
Yeah.
Because the assumption there is, oh, if we leave you guys alone, all you're gonna do is fuck. Which is not the case, you know. Like sometimes it's best just to be alone with someone so you could know what it's like to be alone, you know.
Well, back then in the church society, because you're not gonna have sex until you get married.
So the chaperone was there to like make sure of that, basically.
It was kind of a custom. I think it was here a custom a long time ago. In Cuba, it's like custom. So you know, it's kind of like something that I kind of like some tradition to it, you know. My parents were kind of cool, but, you know, I got away with stuff, you know. There's always a way.
I'm sure there's always, I mean, yeah, you know, when you want something, you'll think of ways. Yeah, that's true. So, how old were you when you left that marriage?
So 22, I would say about 27, 25, 27, somewhere in that range.
Oh.
Yeah.
And your English was like top notch at this point, like you.
Yeah, I kind of perfected my English to a way that you're fluent in the university in Loma Linda, La Sierra campus, because my roommate at the time really helped me. He used to say I used to call him the farmer. There's a farmer from I forgot the state. They'll come to me later, but he used to call me jack shit. So
Jack shit.
yeah,
Why?
'cause I always played a lot of jokes on him. Like, come on, jack shit. So he go, hey, jack shit. Look, you don't say Spanish, okay? let's do this. Spanish, okay? It's not a Spanish, coño, man. It's not a Spanish, okay, man? It's a Spanish. So it's like, okay, then I'm kind of getting rid of some of my accent.
Okay.
You know?
Oh.
Yeah.
Shout out to the farmer then.
Yeah, no.
You know?
So, I always wanted to improve my accent, because everywhere you go, man, this guy just came out of the Sierra or something.
Yeah.
So,
Wow. So you're out of your first marriage, and what's your move after that? Are you wilding out? Are you trying to find another relationship?
The situation, what happened is we were growing apart. Our personality didn't really mesh. We're like.
Do you remember what her personality was? Because you're kind of like an outgoing guy. Like you're pretty, you're a jokester. You like to have, you're pretty good at talking to.
Yeah, well, the situation is that she didn't really have a personality because her parents shelter her a lot, like almost like imprisonment. They really, their religion is really strong, cultish type.
Oh my
And
God.
then, not supposed to do this thing on the Sabbath day, make sure you don't do this and that. So it was a lot of do's. A lot of don'ts, not enough do's. And so once she married me, well, it was like freedom, like I have this guy, I have a certain amount of freedom. And she's kind of like, we were like really not meshing in a lot of ways. And then she started like getting a lot more free, like she wanted to do this, I wanted to do that. Not really on the same page.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I understand. Because her mind was just like trying to get out of the prison, so to speak.
Yeah. So we were both too young. At 22 for a guy, I think is way too young.
That's pretty young
for
still.
A girl. Even I had to get permission from her parents to marry because she was underage. She was 17.
Yeah. Yeah, that's super young.
Yeah.
And to her, I'm sure you were probably her first boyfriend.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah. That's oh man. For me, that's just
bad. And in a way, I kind of feel bad. I feel good and bad. I taught her all the ropes. It was kind of nice.
You taught her all the ropes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I bet you did. Look, you want to be a Spanish teacher? You're still a teacher.
And in a way, I felt kind of guilty, too, because she was underage,
she was 17, not like she was younger
and I
than
have
that.
her parents' permission, but,
That's another thing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. That will definitely not fly in today's age.
Exactly.
Dude,
sure.
In today's age, a 19-year-old is looked down upon marrying a 17-year-old. And they're only 2 years apart.
Yeah.
You know?
But in Cuba, back then, a lot of people would get married, like at 15, a lot of girls. It's like, back in the day.
It's almost like, oh, wow, you're over 15. You're not, like, they're going to get married.
And here in the U.S., a lot of people got married right after high school. Sweetheart, high school, 18-year-olds get married, all that kind of stuff.
That's true. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Nowadays, in today's age, I feel like people get married later now.
Yeah, probably in the 30s. Yeah.
I don't plan on getting married.
Like Nicole, my stepdaughter, she's 28. Because I'm too young to get married. I go, okay, 28, man, you're getting close to an old mate, 32. Yeah, you really don't want to have kids at 32.
Yeah, that's true.
And then, it's a lot different. Mm-hmm. I told her at 22, your mom was married. Come on, choice. So
I think of it like in the same vein too. Because when my dad was 21, he was married already.
Yeah.
And at that time, my mom was 24.
Oh, your mom was older.
Yeah. And I look at that and I'm like, damn, I'm 27 and they had already got married, had a kid, got a house and all that stuff.
Yeah. Are you ready for marriage, man, or you're not sure yet? Because the last time when we worked together, I think you were in a position you wanted to have a family.
I would want to have a family. I don't know if I want to get married though.
Ah.
Is that bad?
Well, I know nowadays a lot of people live together, but I believe in God's blessing. You know, when you get married, you really don't have a kid that is a bastard, right?
Oh, come on, man. Is that what that means? I thought it was because he didn't have his dad around.
No, I don't know, man. I always been off and on in religion, but it's nice to have God's blessing in a marriage where you're raising kids. You know, that's my father. You know, that's my mom. They're married. You know, it's like I don't know. It's like the norm.
I mean, nowadays I don't know if these people my age, I don't think they're more so into the church, so to speak.
Exactly.
I think they're more so into the idea of just being married.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of marriages you hear that they don't really, you know, I hear some that last, others crumble pretty fast.
Just think about it. Divorce rate is 50%. So people are not really encouraged to get married because, hey, why? We're going to end up in a divorce. But, you know, if you put God in your marriage, it makes a big difference because with God in the marriage, or God in your life, you have things to look up. You have your Bible, tells you what to do. You know, it's kind of like in a car, you have the manual. Something happens, you look it up. The people that made it know about the car.
But that would have to be like a mutual belief. Because if I'm the only one that's into God, and then I try to reference the Bible, she's gonna be like, "Man, get the fuck out of here with that shit."
That's why you should marry somebody the same page. You know, somebody is a Christian. Somebody's gonna help you, not somebody's gonna bring you down.
You feel like the amount of, like, if my partner's more into the church than I am, do you think that makes a difference too? Like, do you think that we should both equally be as invested into the religion?
The goal should be you should be in the same page. Both of you should be believers. You know, like, you know, I want to go to church. She wants to go to church. You know.
How do you feel about how do you say it in English? I don't know, but Testigos de Jehová, like that religion.
Well, here it is. I've done a lot of studies, like when I went to Loma Linda, like cults, Christian cults. Testigos de Jehová, which is Jehovah's Witness, they're cultish religion. They don't really go by the Bible. They have their own Bible. And then you have the Mormons. They have the Book of Mormons. Then you have the Scientology. You have all of this within the Christian church, but they're really cults because they deviate from the Bible. You want to go to a church that believes in the Bible.
Oh.
You know, from Genesis to from Genesis to Revelation, and a Bible-believing church, not these cults, because they take it away from the Bible. They take it away from God. Like, for example, Jehovah's Witness, they don't believe in the Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Oh.
They believe that the devil and Jesus are the same, that Jesus is a created being, not a divine being.
Wait a minute, that Jesus is a created being?
Yeah.
So,
it's the same as angels. Satan and Jesus are the same. They're like a created being an angel.
Good and bad. Good angel, bad angel.
Well,
still the same angel though, but just good and bad.
Where Jesus is God, that's why he's part of the Trinity. He's got divinity. He's divine. So in the beginning, when you really study the Bible, in the beginning, if you read John 1:1, it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with us. If you really study, the Bible alludes to Elohim. In Hebrew means Elohim. It's a plural God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So Jesus was there in the creation. Jesus is the second Adam. Because Adam made the mistake, and Eve. So Jesus had another plan for salvation. He's saying Jesus to be our Savior. And, that's what most churches believe, including the Catholics.
Oh.
So now when you have cults that deviate from the divinity of Christ, and you have all of this, that's why you really need to know the Bible to see where you need to go, what church.
As a kid, I was my aunt and my uncle were Jehovah's Witnesses. So, like, early in my age, my dad was going to the
Jehovah's Witness.
yeah, and I remember going, but I don't remember any details really, other than like watching people speak from the. It wasn't like a priest. It was just like like people who've been going there a long time were the ones speaking.
Yeah.
I remember that. And then I remember looking at all the books that they had. It wasn't a Bible. It was just like books.
Yeah, the Watchtower.
Yeah.
They have a publication called the Watchtower. They control the church, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was that, and they don't celebrate anything.
Yeah, they don't celebrate any birthdays. They don't celebrate Christmas. So it's really that's why they call it a cult.
That's a no for me, dog. Yeah. That's really like I mean, with respect to everyone's religious views, but I don't really see the point of that when particular events like that, are events that gather the family. Yeah. And they bring you closer, you celebrate,
It's totally off the normal society. You celebrate Christmas, you do all this and all of it. No, let's not celebrate Christmas, Let's not celebrate your birthdays. Like, what the hell, man? That's why they call it a cult, because it kind of separates you from the main society.
That makes sense. That does make sense.
They have their own Bible.
Do you think that two people from two different religions will last? I mean,
it's very difficult, because even in the Bible, the Jews, the people chosen of God, they're not supposed to marry people outside their faith.
Yeah.
And King Solomon was he was the smartest person that ever lived, because he asked God for wisdom. And the problem he's downtaking was that he married so many women who have foreign gods. And then even towards the end of his life, he says, what does a person gains if he gains the whole world but loses his soul? So he had everything. He was one of the richest kings ever. So he had all the riches. He had all the women. He had like 700 concubines. He had all kinds of, queens. And then he had all the money in the world.
He was famous.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is still. Like,
yeah.
That is the term in today's age is you sold your soul.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the story of B.B. King? I think it's B.B. King.
Kind of sounds familiar, but I can't.
The blues player? No. It was Bobby Johnson.
No.
The blues player?
No.
It's from like the 1920s, 1930s. He was like the worst blues player. But then one day it said that he was walking down a dirt road and he met the devil at the fork. And the devil offered him
fame
and money in exchange for his soul. And he did that. And then as soon as he did that, he made like one of the greatest blues songs ever, detailing that experience.
Wow.
And so that particular song and that story is referenced throughout all of the music industry.
Wow.
So like anyone like Elvis, like the Beatles, like Eminem, like all these people are said to have sold their souls.
Yeah, man, don't put in the same class Eminem with Elvis and the Beatles. Come on.
They're all white. They're all white. And they're the greatest of all time. You know what I mean? But it said that if you follow that road and you make a deal with the devil,
there's a lot of accounts like that.
You sold your soul.
A lot of rock and roll bands went through that.
What's their fucking name? The guy with the cult, the rockin' shit. It's escaping my mind right now.
Well, look at the what is it called? Kiss, KISS. They said they're knights in Satan's service, satanic. So there's a lot. They said the Eagles are also kind of satanic too, like Hotel California. It's a description of hell. So
Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin,
yeah.
And what's the name of that other guy that used to chew pigeons in the when he used to Ozzy Osbourne?
Ozzy Osbourne, yeah.
So Black Sabbath.
Black Sabbath,
So
Led Zeppelin, yeah, all those guys.
Oh yeah, Black Sabbath. I mean, Sabbath is the rest of Dave, and then Black Sabbath is like opposite,
a dark version. Yeah.
So a lot of those rock and rollers, exactly, you sell my soul and make you
The
famous.
greatest of all time.
But when you really study Satan, Satan was the archangel in a way back in heaven. It was God, Jesus, and Satan, but Satan wasn't called Satan, it was Lucifer. And he was in charge of the choir in heaven.
So Lucifer is his heaven name?
Yeah, Lucifer is his heavenly name. But he wanted to be like Jesus, and then he was casted out of heaven into this world. That's why this Satan is the prince and the power of the world. So that's why he's so musically inclined, because, and they said he was beautiful. He said he had rubies and all kinds of jewels in his outfit, the Lucifer.
Yeah.
And so now he's Satan. So,
oh shit! I didn't know that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy.
So I study a little bit of religion,
wow.
So like everything fits.
I never studied religion like that. I kind of just know from talking with people.
Yeah,
you know?
And along with Lucifer being kicked out of heaven, 1/3 of the angels are here. So that's why there's so much demonic influence in this world.
A lot of sins.
And all this stuff that we're not just in a physical world, we're in a spiritual world.
Yeah. You think we're born to sin?
Yeah, we have a sin nature because of Adam.
We're predisposed to sin.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy how one person is said to have instilled the human nature.
Yeah,
like
even the kids. I have grandkids.
Yeah.
They want to do the opposite of you tell them. Once they learn the word no, You think an innocent kid, so young, they want to go against you.
Yeah.
It's a sin nature.
Yeah. I mean, I know some adults that do that. You tell them no, and then they do the opposite.
Yeah.
Just literally.
Just to be contrary. Yeah.
Just to be contrary.
Yeah.
Not even because that's what they want to do, but you told them to do something. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're telling me I'm going to do the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how human nature is. You do the opposite.
So what else, man? We got out of the topic here.
Oh, we did. We got
Let's
deep
go
into
back to
religion.
this, man.
All right. So, where did we leave off at? Right.
After the marriage.
So the first marriage, you guys drift apart, and that after that, you're still motivated to get married after that?
Yeah, of course, man. Never give up. Because my ideal, I wanted to have a family. I wanted to have kids.
And you never had kids. You guys.
I never had kids with my first wife.
You never talked about it with her, that you recall?
We didn't go that far.
Oh, so you guys drifted pretty fast.
Yeah, kind of drifted away.
Okay. So you want kids. So how do you go about that in a time where there's no internet, there's no phone call? I mean, there's phone calls, right? You call on the phone, but there's no.
Oh man, there are ways, man. Nightclubs and stuff like that. So
man, you can't meet your significant other at a nightclub.
Come on, man, that's the way people used to do it.
What?
Yeah.
You do that nowadays? You don't know who you're getting into, man.
That was the only way, man. There's no internet. So unless you meet somebody in the grocery store or something like that. But I kind of had an ideal uh, perspective of a woman, back then. I was too superficial. I wanted to marry. I had this idea of like a model looking wife, trophy wife, 5'5", 5'6", tall, blonde. I was really, I dated mainly blondes. I had this ideal of having like a trophy wife, you know. So I kind of like narrow my perspective towards that.
Oh.
Yeah. So
So you came across a bunch of other women that weren't that,
yeah.
and you passed them on
Exactly.
because you had.
I met quite a few women that were really nice, very nice, but they didn't meet my standard in a way.
Right.
And I let go of women that I should have married, or they had a good soul, that were made a great wife, but because they didn't meet my standard, I wanted a blonde. I wanted like a trophy wife. I wanted like a model looking type of a wife. I didn't really pursue it.
Yeah. But then you found that.
Yeah, basically, I went to a nightclub in Riverside and I met Cheryl. She turned out to be the one who I had all the kids with. And
How far into it did you have kids with her?
right away, man.
Right away. Oh,
Yeah.
so you knew, you're like, oh, this is it.
No,
This is the trophy
sex
wife.
was pretty good, man. So it's like she got pregnant. So,
Oh.
so then you go, well, let's. I remember working at in Torrance, little company of Mary. There was this guy that was a really good Christian, and he goes, "Man, so you're dating this girl, and she's pregnant. Don't you want to get married? Don't you want to honor God?" So he kind of spoke to me, to my soul. Yeah, I better get married. So we went to Vegas and got married. And then
At the drive-through?
no,
Oh.
no, we went to a little chapel. It's funny because I ended up my last marriage in Vegas. So my first marriage in Vegas, and now with Joyce, is in Vegas.
Oh, wow. That's pretty
So
cool.
Elvis has something to do with both. No, it's yeah.
Oh, dude.
Oh man, 12:45. It's okay. It's okay.
It's 12:45?
No, the movie 12:45.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we got like a couple more minutes.
We have time. We have time.
Is the movie theater far away from here?
Oh no, 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah, we're good. We're good. Okay. Okay, so you have the kids. You have 3 kids with her.
4 kids.
4 kids with her. I'm
We
sorry.
have Derek,
Thinking about boys.
Gabriel, Josh, and Charity.
Charity.
So
So you get divorced from Cheryl, and then you get married a third time. Your mind isn't. I'm not trying to have kids with this woman. I'm not trying to. You just want to be married. Is that the motivation behind
well,
getting married a third time?
for me, I'm a person. I hate to be alone. I want companionship. To me, meaning of life being with somebody that you love, you care for. So I never gave up in the believing that I could be a husband, I could have a wife. So I met Paula during that time. I met her daughter. Her daughter was really pretty. I was doing a CT of the sinuses on her. And, oh, you're really cute. I was like, I know she's really young, so I was like, just really, telling her nice things. Go, hey, my mom is single and stuff. So she set me up with her mom. And that's kind of like, we got into it.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I swore that this guy was gonna hook me up with his daughter, because I did a CT on him, and he was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, man, you look kind of young to be doing this. How old are you?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm 27." He was like, "Word, I have a daughter that's 27." She's not married, doesn't have any kids, and I was waiting for him to be like, "Oh, I want you to meet her," but I never got there. Wow, so that's how that third marriage happened.
Yeah, basically.
Were you with her a long time?
I can't really think how long I was with her, but it was pretty good marriage for most of the part. A very nice Christian woman, and
Oh,
no, even up to this, we're friends. She was really cute, really nice. Her family really loved me. Her mom was saying that I'm her favorite son-in-law. So it was like we just didn't really believe exactly the way to raise the kids, and we just ended up like kind of like stupid how we got separate. We were thinking of maybe getting separated for right now and then come back together. But it didn't quite work out. It was kind of in a way weird way how things happened. But we ended up really good friends. We had money and we just put everything a half. It was like really
cordial.
cordial, very cordial.
Wow.
In fact, we got together a few times after that. Like, we tried to work it out, but
Did you bang her?
yeah, of course.
Okay.
That was good. We had
Wow.
really, really good sexual life. But then after that, I met Mercedes at JFK.
Mercedes.
But I thought I was going to go back with Paula, but it didn't quite work out because she was just too much into herself, and the living, I would have to live with her. Living in Yucca Valley, it was like the living conditions didn't quite work out.
Got it. So you guys kind of had like two separate lives a little bit. Personalities were a little bit different, but you guys clicked.
Yeah. We clicked in a lot of ways, and she was really nice. Her kids really loved me, and her family was really beautiful family. So so a lot of things were really working, but I guess we were both kind of selfish. Then in fact, we never got divorced until I met
Mercedes.
Mercedes. And
Oh,
Mercedes,
shit.
we have something, you need to get divorced from her. Because we thought we might get back with each other.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Because we were always really attracted to each other.
So when you told her, "Hey, I'm gonna get married again. We need to get a divorce," was she like, "Okay"? Or was she like, "I thought we were gonna get back together"?
I don't remember exactly all the details, but I kind of told her I kind of wanted to be back with her, and she wanted to be back with me. But I goes, "Hey, I'm dating this girl, and she really wants to get married, and see if you want to get back with me, we can try to work it out." But no, it didn't work out, so we ended up getting divorced. So
Shit.
we had to get divorced in order to marry Mercedes.
So how much time goes by? Like how much time in between her until you meet the woman? Is it fair to say soulmate?
Yeah, I would say so. Anyway, so I moved to Yucca Valley, and I moved in with my son, Joshua. And he kind of helped me go through all this stuff, kind of like helped me like kind of get my life in order again. And shortly after that, I bought another house in Yucca Valley, and I was able to stay there. And
Is that the balsa one?
no, this is the Joshua Lane house where Derek lives in it right now, my oldest son.
Oh, okay.
From that house, we moved to the Balsa house. So that more or less what happened.
So then you were living at that house by yourself?
I was living with Josh.
Right, but then
Joshua.
you got the balsa house and you were by yourself in there, or that was with?
No,
you already
okay.
married?
The house that I moved in is the house that the last house when you went to say goodbye to us in Texas, which was a house in Barberry.
Mm-hmm.
That house, whenever we got the house, Joshua moved into that house. So Josh was living in that house. And I think, it was before Mercedes. I think. I can't really remember at this time.
Okay.
But anyway, Joshua was living in that house, and I moved in with Josh. Then shortly after that, Jacoby moved in, and it was Joshua, me, and Jacoby. And then shortly after that, I bought the other house in Joshua Lane, and I moved into the Joshua Lane. And after Joyce and I got married, she moved into that house with me. So we moved in Joshua Lane, and then we bought Balsa afterwards. So that's when Derek moved into the house. So it's kind of a long story.
Wow. So how did you, because you said that you did the online dating thing.
Yeah.
Well, and you credit this marriage strictly to online dating?
Well, it's kind of a long story. We went into Christian mingle. Kind of wanted to meet a Christian woman, and started going to church. And I said, well, let's try Christian mingle. And Joyce tried Christian mingle. So I was still attracted to Asian women. So that's kind of, I met her. She looked pretty good in the picture. And one of the things that I really noticed about her, she said something like Joyce, I forgot what her handle is, but Honest Joyce or something like that. Honest Joyce.
Oh, that's cute.
And then we just started texting each other and talking and stuff. But then she told me that she wanted to get married. And man, I've been burned so many times.
Hell yeah.
That's the last thing I wanted to do.
I would have been like, no, I'm not getting married.
Especially shortly before I started dating Joyce, I was going out with this Mexican girl, Diana, and she was really nice. Her family was very nice, but she wanted to get together and have a serious relationship. And just recently I broke up with Mercedes. I didn't really want a serious relationship, but she even wanted to get married. And all that. I was like, man, that's the last thing I want to do. I was asleep. But anyway, so I broke up with her. I actually went and gave her a letter, and stuff. It was kind of a difficult.
Wait, you broke up with her through the letter?
No, I broke up with her in person, but I had a letter to give her, and it was.
It said sorry on it?
No, it's just explained everything that I felt towards her, but I really wasn't ready for a relationship. We've only been going like a month and a half.
So you expressed your mental state and all that?
Yeah, it was. But, looking back, it kind of helped me get ready for Joyce in a way. But she was like making all the shots. She wanted me to move in with her. She was all the way in Yucaipa. So I was driving I was staying with her. So I'm driving from Yucaipa to Indio,
Dude.
and then to Yucca Valley.
Oh,
it was
my
like,
God.
I felt like a zombie.
Wow.
So anyway, Josh, Jacoby, and I went on a trip to Tennessee. We went to Nashville, Tennessee. It was kind of like we wanted a road trip. And during that road trip, it's kind of made me realize what I really want out of life. And I just started like talking to Joyce, texting and all that kind of stuff. And then
you were already in contact with Joyce when you went on the road trip?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Oh, so you were texting in the car like a little teenager, looking out the window.
Well, she gave me the silent treatment for about 2 weeks.
And that was during the trip, or?
Just shortly before.
Oh.
And then, because I asked her goals, and you go, hell, I don't want to get married, especially in a year. So after she gave me the silent treatment for about 2 weeks, I texted her. I go, okay, look, all right, I will marry you. I will take you to Washington, D.C. I will take you to a roller coaster. I'll do anything for you, but please talk to me.
Oh, my God.
And then,
you cracked, bro. You cracked.
Yeah.
So when she gave you the silent treatment, have you already met her? Like you saw her in person already?
No.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Whoa. So how long were you guys talking for on the internet before you met her?
Man, we talked for a long time until we finally met each other.
I would just give me like a window. Like what's a long time? Because I'll be
Maybe
honest.
2 months.
Okay, that's pretty solid.
2 months and a half or so. And then when we met in person, man, she was like really cute and very proper. Algo, coño, man, esta chinita está enterita.
It was different than anything you've ever.
And then when she met me, she go, "Oh my God, he's so good looking. He looks like a guy from novela, one of the novelas."
Yeah.
So it's kind of like love at first sight in a way. And she was so proper. She has some friends because we met in a Filipino restaurant, the green banana leaf or something like that. And then she goes, "Is it okay if I go and say hi to my friends?" I go, "Man, she's so proper. It's really nice."
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of women would have just been like, "Oh wait, I'll be right back."
Yeah. Yeah, but she asked for permission and stuff. I go, "Coño, man, this is what I want and I need." So
So it was a lot of like the little things,
yeah.
like all those little things that you were missing in life. You kind of
Yeah.
noticed them with Joyce.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So here we are after
And-
5 years.
And you married her a year into.
Less than a year, we kind of started talking to each other about April, and then we got married just before the end of the year.
Did they get it? Did your parents get a chance to meet her?
No, my parents were dead.
Oh.
But we married 12/28/2016, just before the end of the year.
Wow. Holy damn. I was in X-ray school there. Holy shit. Yeah.
Really?
12/28/16. Yeah.
Wow.
I was my first 4 months in to X-ray school.
Wow. Time goes fast.
That was a while ago, it seems like.
Where's Joyce anyway?
I think she's asleep or she's in the room.
Okay.
So, all right, last question. If you have any words about like love, I'll get to like your philosophy of life later, but like as far as like love goes, and and recounting all of your experiences, what's like a, I don't know, like a piece of advice that you would give someone that's maybe in the same situation you're in or has no luck maybe, or what's one thing that you could tell someone?
You know, looking back at my life, things change. First, I was really into looks. You know, I wanted like a certain type of a woman. You know, I was attracted to light hair, you know, blondes. And I ended up marrying like a couple of them were really light, but I ended up marrying like darker women. So in a way, it's not necessarily like a particular look. It's about the heart. It's about if this person is in the same page as you are, spiritually, physically. I mean, there's got to be an attraction, okay?
You feel like from the very beginning?
No, it's not like instant. It can be, you know, with time, but there's got to be a chemistry. You know, you can't really go to bed with a person you're not attracted to.
That's true.
Yeah, there's got to be some attraction. And I know with some of them in the past, it kind of like it got increased with time, and some of them is like instant attraction. I want to take you to bed. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
so you got to have something in common with the person. It's not necessarily about a particular look. At one time, that was what I was looking for.
Yeah.
But it's important to get God's blessing in your marriage, you know, and it's tough when you meet somebody that is not in the same page spiritually, like we're talking about earlier. Like I wanted to go to church, he doesn't want to go,
Yeah.
and you cannot force love on a person. You either love the person or not.
Yeah.
And it's nice to love the person, but it's really nicer if that person loves you in return.
Unconditionally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a friend who has he's married with two kids, and he's not really that religious, but his family did come up under Christianity. But his wife is Jehovah Witness, and she still kind of
Attached to that.
practices it a little, goes to church, and
He's not.
no, he's not.
Oh, man.
They kind of when it comes to that, they kind of do their own separate thing.
Yeah, that's
And
tough.
and her family is pushing her parents are pushing her to push it onto her kids. But he's saying, I don't want them to push it onto the kids, because if you push so hard like that, there's a possibility of them rebelling, maybe, and doing the opposite. And I've seen that too, in particular with that religion too. So I haven't asked him this, but maybe it could be like a conflict in the future.
Definitely a conflict, because Jehovah Witness are kind of a cult, and they expect a lot out of the members. So if your spouse is not, that is going to be a conflict for a long time.
Eventually, right?
So one of them has to give in. That's just the way it's going to be. But all of that conflict can be avoided if once you're dating the person, you got to talk about all of that. Because once you marry that person, you marry the family. No matter how people say, no, I only married, but along with your wife comes the family, along with the relatives. I mean, if you want to have a nice relationship.
Yeah.
And then you got to talk about how the kids are going to be brought up. Because if one person is Christian, and even if the other person is Catholic, there's conflict. Because Catholics are different than the Christians. Not as much as a cult,
Right.
like Jehovah Witness or something like that.
But just a difference in beliefs still.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
And what is your philosophy in school? Because I had a lot of conflict with my ex-wife, because she wanted to homeschool the kids. I didn't want the kids to be homeschooled. And we had a lot of conflict.
why did she want them to be homeschooled?
She wanted to keep them away from the world's influence.
And why did you?
I wanted them for socialize. But I wanted the kids to play sports and stuff. How are you going to play sports homeschool? So we had a lot of conflict. We should have been divorced a long time ago.
Wow. Wow.
But looking back now, I had, of course I have regrets. I made a lot of mistakes. But looking back, I try my best. And right now I'm in peace with my past. I'm in peace with everyone. And even with my decision to come here, I'm really in peace with God. We found a good church. The Lord gave us this house. We came without looking at it, sight unseen.
Yeah.
And at first, it took us a little while to get used to it. But after it's going to be a year, we're pretty happy here. I was able to retire. And even though I pushed to get my license, it didn't quite happen to get my radiology license. But I can see why I'm in peace with God. I'm in peace with what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
Speaking on still like religious and faith and all that, what were some of the biggest or hardest demons to overcome that you would say, like, I don't know, I guess something that was just hard to come to peace with? Like, what do you feel that is?
In my life, I look back, drugs is no big deal for me. Drugs is not a weakness. You can show me marijuana, all kinds of drugs. I'm not attracted to, or even alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Are you shitting me, good-looking women? Yeah, baby, that's my weakness.
That's the demons.
Yeah.
The demons in the dresses.
There's nothing better what the Lord created. It's not my fault He created women to be really good-looking, man.
That's
I
a
shouldn't
fact.
say that, but
No, I see what you mean. That's a fact. But now you're settled down, and now you're tied down.
yeah, I'm pretty happy. I really done a lot.
That's an understatement.
I've been with a lot of women, and I enjoy all of that. But I ask God for forgiveness, and if ever I offended anyone. But right now,
This is the public apology.
yeah.
Wow. So,
Con todas mis travesuras, mis aventuras, mis experiencias.
it's all life lessons at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to get into your parents a little bit.
But before that,
Oh, go ahead.
what I wanted, my advice to a young guy like you is to really look for the heart, a person with a good heart that is kind, that loves the Lord, loves God, has a relationship with God. And you can tell by how they love the family, how they love their parents. Even in that movie Elvis, we just saw how he had a good relationship with the mom. He really loved his parents, how he brought him into the mansion, and they were part of his life.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a good relationship with your parents. I mean, you're a good son. Your parents love you. So my advice is to find someone like you that likes a family, that enjoys being with the family, that, is going to give you a kid that really loves you, that is not going to cheat on you, like it's going to be there for you. Like in the movie you said that Priscilla was there for him.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until the drugs that
Yeah.
made her leave. Yeah. Damn, I was going to say something with the whole women thing.
Parents.
I think when it comes to meeting women, a lot of them are good at like putting a facade, right? So they're going to come off like they're kind. They're going to come off like they're down to earth and all this other stuff. What would you say is the biggest giveaway? Like that shows a woman's true character. Is it how she treats her dad? Is it how?
Well, I tell you, I can give you an example of that because I had so many failed relationships. When I met Joyce, I met her and we kind of were really attracted to each other. So I went to meet her family and how kind she was with her parents, and her dad was in a wheelchair, and how she was so sweet to her, helped him put in the wheelchair, and go, that's how she's going to treat me. So it was like, whoa, this is a good woman. It's worth it. It's worth driving on the way to Chino Hills from Yucca Valley.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a long ass drive, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's, in the Bible it says a good wife is worth more than rubies and gold and silver.
I believe it. Because you can have all those things, but if you have a shitty wife, it's not going to be like a happy time.
Yeah, man. There was a time in my life when I was married with the kids. I love my kids. I wanted to be, but I didn't want to be home, man, after work because there was so much strife in my house. I kind of wish I could stay at work.
Wow.
Because coming home wasn't really coming home. I was coming home to strife and fights.
But you would go home every night?
Yeah, I would go home, but the treatment was so bad. It's like,
Oh,
not,
man.
not really my home and not really accepted.
That's pretty deep, man. I feel like in the middle of all that, I feel like, if I put myself in your shoes, I would probably feel like I will never rid this feeling. Like I will never feel like I will have a home that I'll be happy to go to.
Yeah. In fact, there are certain times you feel suicidal.
Facts. I can imagine something like that.
Yeah, but luckily, not many people feel this way. But with Joyce, we love each other, and we actually enjoy being with each other. Like we went to the baseball game, you, Josh, and me, and then that was really cool. But I miss her that she wasn't there. And we went to a baseball game, just me and her, and man, she was really getting into it more than me. And it's nice when your partner enjoys what you enjoy.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
She takes an interest into what you like.
Yeah.
Even though she may never have heard of it in her life or she just never really cared to watch it. But the fact that she's into it because you're into it.
Yeah. And
that speaks love.
The way that she is with my grandkids.
Yeah.
She's so attached to Teddy. It's like, wow.
She comes off like a blood grandma. Like it's her grandma by blood. Like
and it's really a blessing to have someone like her. And when I go to church and I worship the Lord, I truly love the Lord. I don't want anything from the Lord, like money-wise or anything. I just go there to worship Him because He's been so good to me. Like, the things, how we got this house, how we got Joshua's house, how we sold the 2 houses in California. Like, it was like a miracle, like how everything
happened.
Led to everyone, to all the things that we did. And when I go to church and I see my wife really worshiping the Lord, it's like, I could see that forever. She really loves God. And I go, man, what a blessing in my life to have somebody that loves me, loves the Lord, loves my kids, loves my grandkids so intensely.
Yeah.
So
is attentive on top of all that,
Yeah.
That's I want to say that's maybe like 1 in a million.
Yeah.
Because
when I started like dating her, because she's from the Philippines, a totally different culture.
Yeah.
Victor from JFK and Manigan, Dr. Manigan, they kind of pushed me because Manigan knew how Mercedes was. He was really mad at her. He was saying, hey, this woman is going to take care of you forever. These Filipino women, they really know how to take care of a man. And they really helped me to jump into the relationship.
Oh, they kind of were like pushing you into the water a little more.
Yeah. Oh. And even to the point that
Victor sorry to cut you off. No wonder you were so close to Manigan when I met you.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and Manigan has been a good friend, even though he's a doctor, radiologist. But he's the type of guy that he not only hangs out with doctors,
Yeah.
He's friends with, especially at JFK, he got really close to everyone. He's friends with everyone. And he comes from a family that they say no matter what, whether they're poor or rich, you're your friends. So he's in touch with his roots. He used to go to the Philippines and give missionary work to all the poor areas. Because he's a doctor. He used to help. He's friends with Pacquiao. And he used to give a lot of money.
Pacquiao?
Yeah.
The one that got knocked out by Juan Manuel Marquez?
Yeah, the Mexican mercenary. He beat up a lot of Mexicans until that point.
He beat the shit out of De La Hoya.
Man, those two guys had the best fights, man. All the fights are so close.
Man, they knew how to fucking fight. Yeah. And they never looked like they hated each other, which was the crazy part.
They had the best fights.
I agree, yeah. So, damn, man, you really lucked out. I'm going to tell you what I told my friend. And not because you're coming at me, but my friend would kind of nag at me like, you got to get out there. You got to meet people. You got to do this. You got to do that. But it's like, dude, that's so easy to say for someone who hasn't had to go out there and get his name out there and go through all these different dates to find someone that you truly click with. I'm like, dude, your friend's girlfriend hooked you up with her, and you just so happened to just really click with her, and you see them together, man, and they literally just click. Like, it's insane. Like, I try to get them to fight, like, in a joking way, and they're just like so mellow, like they have a kid together. They seem like they read each other's minds almost. It's kind of weird. And so I tell them, like, look, dude, the universe lined you guys up. Like, this has nothing to do with your effort or her effort at the end of the day. The universe lined up for you. And it was the people around you, or maybe, your inner thoughts telling you, I should keep talking to this person. I should keep talking to this person. And you just got to know her. So, like I said, it's not like you had to go through like like 3 different heartbreaks and get cheated on and do all this and get like accused of something you didn't do. It's like, everything just kind of happened for you. And like I said before, that's kind of like 1 in a million, because, you have 60 plus years of life, and it took you, into your 50s to find 50s, 60s to find the woman that you've been looking for your whole life.
Well, one of the things is never to give up on life. But if you give up, I have so many failed marriages. I'm not the marriage material. I'm just gonna accept it. I have to be alone because of my past failures. But, if you have that kind of an attitude, you even become bitter.
For sure.
One thing that they say in Spanish, in Cubano, para atrás ni para coger impulso. So you don't want to take a step, not even to get going. So I'm always being optimistic. I look at the glass half full instead of the glass half empty. So I just never gave up on finding a woman. And, I was talking to Joyce just recently, and I said, the Lord loves us. He gives us so many blessings. We're trying to help so many people. That when we came here, we helped our parents. My daughter was here. Now Nicole is here. We were trying to help so many people. And, we're wondering, why does God love us so much? Why do we deserve all the stuff that we're getting?
It's because you guys are his best servers, so to speak.
Well, man, basically what we said is, even in our relationship with something so small like Christian mingle, we wanted to meet somebody that was Christian. So in a way, we're putting God first, because we wanted to meet somebody with the same beliefs that we have. And what is interesting is that she came from a Catholic background. So did I. My dad was Catholic.
Yeah.
My mom was Seventh-day Adventist. And her parents were Catholic. So when she went into the Christian relation, her parents were really mad at her that she went from Catholic to Christian. So, and she even went to a Pentecostal church before in Singapore. And now we're both, and I used to go to a Pentecostal church when I was married to Cheryl.
Yeah.
So we both kind of have similar background when it comes to religion. And we found a church close by that is really strong. It's the same faith. We think that the pastor's really transparent. So it's been really great to go to the same church. We're being blessed in this house. And we're being humble. I think the most important thing that we talk about is being humble. Don't ever get so greedy. Don't ever get so prideful that I'm up there, all these people are below me. Because when we came here, God, let's get this house. We'll make it a rental. Then we get one of those fancy houses, 2-story house with the red brick like in Texas.
Yeah.
But, we came to the conclusion that the Lord put us here. And this is enough for us. This is a humble house. It's just an average house, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, in a nice area, in a nice community.
Yeah.
But it's not really our dream house per se.
Mm-hmm.
But just because the Lord gave us this house, it's a blessed place.
Yeah.
So we're accepting it like a gift from God. So we try to stay humble.
That's
You
good.
know.
Yeah, I mean, because imagine if you did all that stuff, like you sold your houses and all that back in California, then you came over here and it was just like a flat out disaster.
Yeah.
And then like, what do you do? Where do you?
Hey, believe me, it hasn't been a bed of roses because I got COVID. Joyce got COVID. Her parents got COVID.
Mhm.
And then Josh, Jacoby, and the kids have been sick. Even to this point, I even have a virus. So we've been getting sick, everyone, since we've been here. But, I think the devil doesn't want us to be happy, but we're
Could be.
overcomers. We're overcoming all of this disease, and it's getting better.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's a good way of looking at it.
yeah.
Oh. So yeah, I want to just touch on your parents a little bit. How old were both of your parents when they passed?
It's interesting you say that. I think both of my parents were either 91 or 92. They were both the same age.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who passed first, your mom or your dad?
My dad passed first, and then my mom. You know what? I don't remember exactly. I thought it was 92 or 93 that my dad passed away. And then my mom passed away 5 years after because my dad is 5 years older than her.
Mm.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
And you've told me stories about your dad, but I really want to document what he said because I thought it was like kind of powerful. He lived to be 90, 93, 92. And then when you went to go see him, what was that like for you when he was on his last days? Like, what was that like for you?
Well, just a little bit before that, I had kind of a tough time. I always had a tough time with my daughter, Charity, because I would see her every other weekend. So my life was really complicated and going through a divorce and all that kind of stuff. So my dad was in a nursing home. He called me out of the blue. I usually will go see him like every 3 months or so. He called me and he said, "Hey, do you love me?" It's like, "Yeah, I love you." He goes, then how come you'll never see me and stuff like that. So, it kind of opened my mind like, wow, this guy is really lonely. I love this guy. He feels like I don't love him. So he was all the way in Loma Linda. What's the next city? Redlands. He was in Redlands. So what I did, I said, my dad doesn't have much to live, so I brought him to a nursing home here in India, close to JFK. Then I would see him more often. I would see him, every other day or so. But man, when he told me, "Man, do you still love me?"
That would have hit me.
Yeah. So it was like,
Especially
wow.
when you got like all this other shit happening in life, and then
Yeah.
you get a call like, "Oh, it's my dad," and then he hits you
Yeah.
with like, "Hey, man, like, do
Yeah.
you love me?" It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like I've been neglecting you, like,
Yeah.
and it's not even because like I want to.
Intentionally, yeah.
It's just because life's fucked up right now. But
Yeah. So I brought him close to me here, and I would see him a lot more. And he felt like he had a lot to say to me just before he passed. And just before he passed away, the day that he passed away, the night before I went to see him, and he goes, "Make sure you come back and talk to me because I have some things to say to you." But Charity was staying with me that night, and she was so tough, I didn't find any time to go see him. So the next day, they called me, "Hey, your dad is in the hospital." So I went directly to the hospital and be with him. And so it was like on his deathbed basically there. So
He was still able to speak. Like,
yeah, barely. I could barely understand him what he was saying. So you could tell that he only had, a little bit time left.
what were his last words to you? Like, what was the last thing he ever said to you?
Yeah, he could. I really had a hard time understanding him, but bueno, es como me estoy cagando.
He was shitting himself.
He was a man, and it's kind of like me, like being in the medical field, like the body trying to get rid of the toxins. Like I'm dying basically, but in a way. So he told me that, and then I couldn't really understand a lot of what he was saying, but I was there like holding his hand and attending to him. It's really tough when your dad passes away. And then I called my brother, and my brother was on the way, but he died before my brother got there. So it was really sad seeing your dad go away. And then the doctor that was attending him came over, and he says, hey, if you want to, we can move him to ICU. And I go, no. He said he feels like he's lived a long life. He didn't want to be a burden. He goes, don't put me in any machines. I just want to go peacefully. Estoy viviendo una vida prestada. Like I'm living a
Borrowed life.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
So he was content because he told me like before a few months ago, he said, yeah, I'm in peace with all my fellow, all my people. I feel like I'm ready. And he even told me before, like 2 months before in Redlands, he goes, hey, I have some visitors here, and they told me that they're going to come in to take me soon. But he was saying, it's kind of weird because they're all dressed in black. So it was like, wow.
Oh,
But
wow.
I think it was kind of like a sign of death that
Yeah.
they were coming for him.
Yeah, yeah. Did you have any, like, did you feel like any sort of regret or something when he passed, or like,
I was mostly in peace, but I felt like since I didn't go that night to talk to him, I felt like, I kind of ignore him and stuff. But, we had the funeral and everything. All the family was there. But it still had that, that I didn't go see him the night before. But like 2 weeks or 3 weeks after, I had a dream with him. And he told me, he appeared to me and he said, son, don't worry. I know how life is, how busy it is. It's not that you didn't want to see me, to go talk to me. I forgive you. You've been a great son to me. I'm very proud of you, what you accomplish. You're a great son. Nobody could have a son like you. It's like, wow. So I felt at peace. So it was like, wow.
fuck.
Tough, man. It's hard to
That's tough, man.
and then even before that, he told me, I don't have any riches to give you. I don't have houses. I don't have gold and silver to give to you. And I go, Dad, don't feel bad. You brought me to this best country in the world. You brought me here. You gave me an education. What more can I ask for you? And you gave me all this love. You guidance. It's like, what more can I ask? You've been a great father to me. You sacrificed everything. You could have stayed in Cuba. You sacrificed. You almost died in the concentration camp for me and my brother. You've been an exemplary father.
Yeah.
I can't really ask for more from you.
Did he respond to that?
Oh yeah, he was crying. We
Oh,
were hugging each other. Yeah. It was sad because my mom passed away, but she was senile, like she had Alzheimer's, so she wasn't able to communicate.
oh,
Yeah,
that's also hard.
yeah.
When she passed, how did she pass? Like what?
Well, we knew that she was dying,
Hmm.
and my whole family was there. Um, Even Joshua. I don't think Derek and Gabriel were there, but it was Joshua and my brother and all the family were reading Psalms, were reading Bible scriptures around her. And
She was unconscious.
yeah, yeah. And then she was unconscious and she passed away.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I always think about like because I have a good relationship with my mom,
Mm-hmm.
and she's probably the one that I relate to the most. Not relate, I should say. Maybe like she just thinks like how I think. Like we could just look at each other and just kind of like know what we're thinking. It's weird. So like I just always imagine like when she's older, is she gonna get Alzheimer's? Like if she gets Alzheimer's, and then I go visit her one day and she's just like, "Oh hey, who are you?" Like that's gonna break my fucking
I
heart.
went through that with my mom.
That's gonna break my heart.
She in my mom with my mom, she knew it was a relative. Sometimes she would recognize me as her son. Sometimes she would recognize me like our brother, or even my dad. So it was, she knew that we were close,
Oh,
but she always gave me the love. You know, I was I was real close to my mom when I saw the Elvis movie, so it kind of touched me because I was really close to her. She would call me niño lindo. Tú eres mi niño lindo. So it's like touchy, you know.
very.
And she would come and hug me. She would say, "Dame el calorcito tuyo." So, uh, yeah, I had some very fun moments with her. She never yelled at me. She never spanked me. So it was like having like a saint in my life, you know.
It's pretty
And
heavy, man. That's pretty heavy.
how
Fuck.
Elvis was so close to her mom in the movie, how he treated her. So he always wanted to make her happy. In a sense, with me was reversed. My mom always wanted to make me happy. You know, she will cook all this meal. Do you like it, son? It was like, wow. Joyce is in a way like that.
Yeah, yeah. That's I feel like when you lose something like that, it it's it's gonna be a hole, regardless. Like
And
whether you're happy, whether you're content with it, there's always gonna be that hole.
yeah, exactly. And I never forget it. But like I told you before, you have takers in life, you have givers. My mom was a giver, Joyce is a giver. And she puts my health before her, like, you know, are you okay? She always trying to give me the medication. So it's like, I'm really blessed to be with her. I never met anyone like her, and I never will. Kind of
Facts.
reminds me of my mom.
Damn. I'm glad you met her.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty heavy, man. So in closing, what's your what's your philosophy of life? Like up until now, like what philosophies do you stand by regarding life? Like I don't know.
Okay. For me, in my state right now, I've been close to God, and I've been not so close to God. But now that I'm closer to God, since I'm retired, I have more time. We gone to church a lot more, and I see Joshua is here, but I don't have my other kids close to me, and I pray to the Lord that I would see my daughter again before I die. I was able to see my daughter, and we have a relationship, and I wish my daughter was here living with me, but I can see why she's not. because she's very responsible with her mom. So, in light of everything that has happened, moving here, leaving everything behind, I feel like God has given me another. I feel like when the children of Israel left Egypt and they went into the promised land, I feel like this is kind of like my promised land. And I feel like I'm in the center of the will of God. So in light of everything, I think I'm listening to the voice of God. I feel like I'm in a place of peace where I need to be right now. I'm helping my kids. I'm helping Joyce's kids, which are my kids now. So I feel like I'm in a really good place. And I just pray for humility, and I pray for love. And what I would tell anybody is find a relationship with God. Religion will not going to get you saved. Religion is not going to get you in heaven. It's a relationship with God. Yeah. God is not a far God that is in heaven. The Holy Spirit is here. If you accept the Lord, you have a relationship with Him. You live, you pray. God is with you. And to be at peace with everything, all the relationships that I've been with, I'm at peace. And putting God first, I think, is the most important thing. And then after all of that, taking care of your family, taking care of your kids. And you have to really go for you have to be passionate about your life. Passionate about things that you do, like your job.
Yeah.
I still like radiology. My passion in life is real estate. I really love real estate more than I love radiology. But I really love radiology, with finding diagnosis on the people. I like people, and I like disease. I like to study people. So it's been great for me. I really like it. I miss it. I miss the interaction with the patients. But, I'm old enough to realize I put in the time. And I'm old enough to maybe concentrate more in real estate. I'm the type of person, I'm type A. I'm not going to be home and sitting down watching TV every day. I love going to the gym. I like playing tennis. So I'm doing the things that I really like, going to baseball games. So I'm really enjoying my life right now. So find the things that you're passionate of. Find your passion in life. After God, after family, after your kids, find a passion in your life that you really like. If you like music, pursue music. It's going to make you happy, like Elvis in the movie we just watched. I'm sorry that we're talking about.
No, you're good.
His passion was music. When he was really happy is when he was singing. So find something that you really like and then pursue it. I like real estate more than just about anything like for business. And I enjoy baseball and I enjoy tennis. So I'm only 30 minutes from Minute Maid. I'm not going to go as many times because I got other things in my life, but I enjoy going to a baseball game. I enjoy going to the tennis match. I'm going to miss going to the Indian Wells, but believe me, I'm going to go there again to watch tennis.
Yeah, of course.
So
Because you're retired now, living the retired life. Oh, wow, man. Well, I think we should close this out now because I got to catch this flight.
It's almost time, but this is Nelson Perez coming to you live from Texas, Houston, the place that I found my home, the place where the Lord has really blessed me, the place where I can see and do all the things that I want to do, like play tennis, and go to baseball games and be with one of my favorite guys in the world, Carlos, here from California. He came and visited me. I enjoy your friendship. I enjoy being with you, man.
Hey, man, likewise. I love it. Thank you for doing this with me, man. This is Carlos at Nelson, the OG Cubano, Panochero. We're
Los
signing out.
Panocheros de Tijuana.
Yeah. We're signing out, man. Thank you.
All right.